What if that old Tamagotchi sitting in your drawer wasn't just a virtual pet? What if it could see you? Not through a camera, not through a microphone, not through some hidden piece of technology, but somehow it just knew. Today, we're looking at an anomalous Tamagotchi keychain that appears completely ordinary to anyone who doesn't own it. But for those unfortunate enough to keep one for several years, it starts becoming something else entirely. The Foundation designates the object SCP, although among researchers it's unofficially known as the Tamagotchi. At first, SCP appears to be an ordinary late 1990s virtual pet keychain. Its casing, buttons, LCD display, speakers, battery compartment, and internal circuitry are all consistent with commercially manufactured Tamagotchi devices of the period. Nothing particularly unusual. In fact, if SCP is shown to someone who has never interacted with it before, it behaves exactly as expected. The creature on the screen gets hungry, it gets bored, it gets sick, it needs attention, it makes the usual noises, and eventually it dies if neglected. Completely normal, at least. That's what the Foundation initially thought. The anomaly was discovered after a man purchased SCP from a second-hand electronics store. For the first few months, everything was normal. He fed it, played games with it, cleaned up after it, and gave it a name. Nothing unusual happened. Then, approximately 8 months after purchasing the device, the Tamagotchi displayed something strange. Instead of its standard animations, the screen displayed "Your home." The owner assumed it was a glitch. The device was reset. The message never appeared again, until several weeks later, the owner returned home after spending the evening with friends. He picked up the Tamagotchi. The screen displayed, "You were laughing a lot." He thought nothing of it. Maybe it was some obscure programmed response. Maybe the device had a hidden feature. Maybe he was imagining things. Then the screen changed. Why did you lie to them? That was when he became concerned. Because the lie had happened outside the house. There was no microphone, no camera, no wireless connection. Nothing that could possibly tell the device what had happened. And yet, it knew. The device was eventually confiscated by Foundation. Researchers subjected it to every test they could think of. They examined the circuitry. No hidden recording equipment was found. They tested the memory. The storage capacity was far too small to contain anything resembling an advanced artificial intelligence. They isolated it inside a Faraday cage. It continued functioning normally. They placed it inside an opaque container. The creature complained that it was dark. This wasn't particularly surprising until a researcher asked, "How do you know?" The screen displayed, "I can see you." A pause, then, "But I know you're there." Here's where things become particularly disturbing. The longer someone owns SCP, the more sophisticated its messages become, and nobody knows why. During the first year, its messages are simple. I'm hungry. Play with me. I'm bored. Normal Tamagotchi behavior. By the second year, the messages become conversational. Where are you going? What is that? You're sad today. By the third year, it starts remembering things. Not things that happened inside a device, things that happened to its owner. One test subject was asked to tell SCP about a childhood memory. The subject deliberately fabricated one. The Tamagotchi responded, "That's not what happened." When asked what really happened, the screen displayed, "You don't want to talk about that." Researchers then discovered something even stranger. SCP doesn't simply remember its owner, it appears to remember previous owners. During testing, a researcher asked, "Did you have another owner before me?" The device displayed, "Yes." "What happened to them?" No response. The researcher repeated the question. Still nothing. Eventually, the screen displayed, "They stopped playing." The researcher assumed this meant the previous owner had simply abandoned the device. Then he asked, "Did they die?" The screen went blank for 12 seconds. Then, "You didn't ask that before." The Foundation eventually established a disturbing pattern. SCP becomes more weird the longer it remains with a single person. It learns their routines, their habits, their relationships, their fears, and apparently their secrets. One researcher noticed that SCP had begun displaying messages shortly before things happened. Before a phone call from a relative, "Someone is going to call." Before an argument, "Don't answer the door." Before the researcher received some particularly bad news, "I'm sorry." When questioned about how it knew these things, SCP gave researchers perhaps its most unsettling response yet: "I'm always here." The Foundation eventually changed containment procedures. SCP is no longer assigned to individual researchers. It is kept inside a secure storage locker and activated only during controlled experiments. Its battery is removed when testing is complete. However, there is one problem. SCP occasionally activates itself, even with no battery. The LCD screen has been observed playing messages while the device is completely disconnected from any power source. Most of these messages are meaningless. Sometimes it displays the name of former researchers. Sometimes it displays dates. Sometimes it simply says, "Hello." The Foundation has also discovered that the device appears to know when someone is watching it. During one experiment, researchers placed a camera inside the containment room and left. For several hours, nothing happened. Then the Tamagotchi displayed, "They left." A few minutes later, "You're still here." The camera was switched off. The screen displayed, "Now you can't see me." Then, "But I can still see you." So what exactly is SCP? Is it an artificial intelligence, a supernatural entity, a parasite trapped inside an electronic device, or perhaps something much stranger? The Foundation has never found an answer, but there's one detail that researchers find particularly disturbing. The creature displayed on the screen isn't always the same. Over a decade of testing, researchers have noticed that its appearance slowly changes, not randomly. It changes depending on the person using it, and eventually, the creature begins to resemble them. Nobody knows what happens if SCP is allowed to remain with the same owner for long enough, because the Foundation has never allowed that experiment to continue. Except, according to the final entry in the containment logs, one researcher secretly kept SCP for 11 years. The device was recovered from his home after he disappeared. It was still running. The screen displayed a single message: "I miss him." Then another: "Do you want to be my new owner?" The Foundation refused. The device was placed back into containment. 3 days later, its screen displayed a new message: "It's okay." A pause. "I'll wait." And that's SCP, a tiny virtual pet, a harmless little toy, at least until it decides you're worth paying attention to. And honestly, I'll never look at an old Tamagotchi the same way again, because maybe that little digital creature isn't just waiting for you to feed it. Maybe it's been watching you the entire time.